Okay, so hello everybody, welcome to another Boost Noise video. So now we're coming back to RS, Religious Studies. Last time we talked about God, nature of God, what is God, and there are loads of questions about the Lord. So I thought we were going to move on to some ethics and global questions because that's a very big part of religion before we go and look at the different branches of relig- of religions like Buddhism, Sikhism, etc. So as you can see, we're not going to do a lot of writing this lesson, but it's just more about me providing some facts about this, how animals should be treated, and it's just like a simple lecture without writing. And I'll send through some notes also. So let's go to the topic. So we are using animals in many different ways. So please pause the video and think how we use animals. So we use animals for a lot of things like food, clothing, entertainment, like in circuses and or in zoos, etc. Sport and scientific research. Some of which isn't a big problem. Not a really big problem, I mean. For example, hunting. There are loads of there I mean hunting is an issue. There are loads of people hunting like alligators or wild chickens and stuff. And there are books about it. It's really terrible and it is a big issue, but it's relatively small and there are rules against it and is controlling the hunting. Also, about entertainment. Zoos are still okay, and we'll talk about that later. But things like circuses, they are not really very common. There are not loads of them. So I'd say that's not also a big problem. Clothing is much of a bigger issue, but yeah, it still consumes a lot. But we will not talk about that today. Maybe next class. And what I would really like to focus on is food, zoos, and scientific research. So, let's do scientific first. So, animals are put in laboratories to test certain drugs, which are also medicines. Like, like you see, if they want to find a new cure, for example, of COVID, I know there's not a cure now. There's only the vaccine. But if they wanted to find a cure of COVID, if COVID was still here, they might have to test it on animals because most animals, have similar organs and are function similarly to humans. So instead of putting it on a human that could kill the human, they're putting it on the animal, which I'd say is okay, but not the best option because animals, they're still lives, and you catching them and forcing them to take certain drugs is really like slaughter, and if you're testing them like for the first time, there's really a very big chance that they're gonna die. Who wants to kill animals for fun? I don't think most of us would. The opposition, those in support of animal research, may say that, well, because you can't disagree with the fact that a human life is more important than an animal life. Like humans can speak in human language and can communicate, and some people consider themselves superior to animals. And I think at least we're a bit smarter than some animals, maybe. So, so I'd say, to be fair, that we could use some animals, maybe one or two or 10, but don't use a lot. For example, scientists who wanted to find a cure of cancer, used up millions of rats and mice, but they all died, and so now there's no cure of cancer. I'd say stop that. Like, I mean, cancer is a really big issue, and if there was really a cure, it could save millions of lives. But why kill rats for this? And it is have been proved and proved unsuccessful. Like, stop killing those people. They're still lives, and they can feel. Let's continue up to zoos. So, zoos have a good thing and a bad part. So the zoos have many good parts. For example, they can keep going to be extinct animals safe. Like I mean, pandas in China. There are pandas in Beijing Zoo, but there are also pandas in the Chengdu National Reserve in China. You see, so pandas nearly got extinct, nearly got completely wiped out, but thanks to the contributions done by the Chinese government, pandas are now in the wild. They are living, and they're kept in zoos. The zoo's purposes of keeping these pandas is that they are going to let these pandas rest and become healthy again, and then they can send them back to the wild if they want. And this is done in some countries, that the zoos give animals nearly very close to the natural habitat. It also gives us humans, especially children, some entertainment, and it's good for us. It gives us time to relax and stuff. It also gives us conservation, to think about and care about the environment, which is also essential. And I mean, zoos is a big debate argument, and these are some of its good things. We enjoy the pandas. The pandas are living good, and they also feel affection to their keepers, like the workers in the zoo. However, zoos can turn pretty nasty. Animals could be stressed, and they can also fight each other. They can also become quite aggressive due to some zoos' bad conditions, especially in some zoos in America. I mean, I'm not saying America's bad, but there has been some nasty incidents. For example, when China gave the US aid to pandas, they were really neglected because the US zoo did not have that much resources. I mean, this is all the information I've got, and I think that it's really quite unfair for the pandas. You are able to see that the pandas are not really doing very well in the US zoo. So, well, zoos also have a bad side. What I'd say about zoos is that if they keep one or two of the animals, it's fine. And keep them in good health, give them enough space, make them happy. It's okay, and you can provide entertainment. The zoos are doing good. But if you keep them in little cramped spaces, they're not going to do anything good. And it brings a very negative impact to the environment, as well as the animals, as well as the people looking at them. So, I mean, it's really not good. Zoos are not supposed to be a torture place for animals, I mean. Now let's move on to food. Animals make food. I am not vegetarian. I very guiltily say I eat pork. I eat beef and stuff, and I think most of us do that. So animals are slaughtered, and you see their conditions are really bad. For example, the killer whale, which often swims 100 miles a day, are now crammed to a swimming pool where it barely can swim a meter forward because of its great big size. But that we don't need killer whales. That's just an example about the bad conditions. Now let's move on to others like pigs, chickens, or cows. In pretty much of the western of the US, cows in zoos, or no, sorry, not zoos, is the manufacturing places where they get cow milk and cow meat and cow cheese and stuff. What they do there is the cows don't get proper treatment. They don't go out and graze as most of the other cows do. They're just crammed in their own spaces, with barely enough to eat, barely enough places, and in a smelly environment. And that's the same for pigs. And for pigs, they only have a very small place to breathe. They can't, if they didn't have that small opening in one of their boxes, they can't even breathe. So what's the point? Like, I mean, humans, we hunting other animals and we eating them for food. It is the natural process. It is how nature works, as Charles Darwin says. It's good. Sorry, it's not. It's good. It's like it's natural. But killing them for fun, overeating them, and not controlling how many animals died is not acceptable. Like then, if you're killing 9,000 pigs every day, that doesn't happen actually. Pigs are going to get extinct. If you're killing 200 cows per day, cows are going to get extinct. And it's not only the problem of what are we going to do if all these animals we eat for meat go extinct, it's how humans can live, it's how people will feel about that. Like, they are part, pigs, cows, chickens, they are all part of the earth. They are living, and you're slaughtering them, you're taking the offspring from them, and making them cry, making them in very bad mood is really heartbreaking and unbearable. I mean, this is a bit emotional now, but this is like my point of view about this food. And of course, the animals are really slaughtered in these conditions and they are, well, treated badly. Because this is religious studies, we don't just debate on all these points about our point of view, but we actually see some religious views. So we taken some views from the top 5 religions: Buddhism, Hinduism, Islam, Christianity, Judaism. That's 5. And we also looked at views from non-religious societies. There are also quotes, but I will not read them aloud because this video is going to be out of time. I'm going to send them in the chat, you see, so that's in the description below. I mean, in Buddhism, the people believe in ahisma, which means non-violence or peace between the species. And Hinduism, monkeys, elephants, and cows get special respect, so they're not allowed to be killed. For example, like they're holy cow. And they also believe in ahisma. In Islam, you can eat meat because the Quran says that the meat is given by God to humans and humans can eat it. But you can't eat too much, and like there has to be a limit. You can eat, you are able to eat, you can hunt, but you can't do too much. In Christianity, it says that animals are precious, they are created by God. Yes, Christianity accepts that animals are hunted, but doesn't accept that they are hunted widely. Judaism has rules about what they should eat and what people shouldn't eat, and what quantity of what they should eat. Very similar to Islam. It also, because it uses the Old Testament of the Bible, it actually says that humans can't eat animals because God created humans, and humans roam the land and can eat animals. Like, humans are the main species of the world. Is that what they believe? And most Jews, they still eat animals, although not a lot. And non-religious people like Charles Darwin have also had views about how animals should be treated well. For example, there's a quote saying, "You may kill animals because they do not talk or do not speak or do not communicate, but can they suffer?" So, well, I mean, so there are many views from religious and non-religious people. Some think that it's 100% not acceptable to eat meat. Others think that, well, we could eat meat, but not a lot. And some of us think that not me, but other people think that animals are superior. We are superior to animals, and we can eat them whatever we want. Anyway, it's your view about this. But let's go in the summary. I hope you enjoy this video, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for listening, and bye.